Hi, this is JJ DiGeronimo with Purposeful Woman, and we are starting our interview series of A Purposeful Woman on a Mission. And I am so excited to have Karen Malone Wright with us today. Not only is she an extraordinary woman, but she has started an extraordinary initiative for many women across the world. And in a few minutes, I'd like to introduce her and have her talk about her business, thenotmom.com. But before we get started, we're really glad you're here and hope you'll join us for other great interviews. And I think that you'll be very excited to learn about how Karen has started her business and what she's doing today, what obstacles she's overcome, and what energy she's gotten from creating an initiative based on a gap that she saw. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome Karen Malone Wright. Hi, Karen.
Hi, JJ. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'd love to know how you started thenotmom.com.
Well, actually, I wasn't looking to start a website. I went to a conference, South by Southwest in Austin, Texas in 2011. And while listening to people talk about how brands connect with women online and many of the women complaining about different parts of that, I talked about how I couldn't find a woman like myself online, or at least I hadn't to date. A woman who had never had children, who so in my age group is therefore not an empty nester, not a grandmother, uh, someone who might look at different issues sort of the way I did, was and had similar experiences was what I was looking for. And I was encouraged to start the website that I was looking for myself. So I started it as basically a diary for myself, not expecting to necessarily get a lot of followers, but I was interested to see what resonated out there. And even though it was just a small Tumblr blog, I got enough encouragement that I took the idea to Cleveland's Bad Girl Ventures program for entrepreneurial women. And I was selected as one of the 10 finalists in competition for a $25,000 prize. And at the end of it, I wound up with a full business plan and research that told me that maybe the idea wasn't as far-fetched as it seemed, one of the strongest being that in America and many other developing countries around the world, we've reached a level where 1 in 5 women will finish their childbearing years without ever giving birth to a child, whether she chose that or she didn't. That number represents a true doubling of how many women don't have children over the last 30 years. It started pretty much, most researchers that I've read tend to attribute that to somewhere in the late 60s, 70s, and women were encouraged to go for higher education, encouraged to work for that bigger title, and in some cases may have delayed childbearing to the point where it was too late, or may just have decided their standards were a little higher for the type of man they might select to share their lives with. And now where we are is that women are so empowered to guide their own life that we're seeing a rise in the number of women who choose to be child free. My goal was to create a website for people on both sides of that spectrum, whether you are childless by choice or whether you're childless by chance. There are many experiences that we share in common, from challenges of how to set boundaries with parents and friends who like to tell us what they think we should do, or why we shouldn't do something, to financial decisions. Who will take care of us when we're old? What kind of smart decision making can we make in our 30s, 40s, and 50s to prepare for later years? And that's sort of the guideline that I'm trying to follow with the website.
Karen, that is incredible. And 1 in 5 globally, that is just remarkable. I think sometimes you don't realize how much of an impact you can make until you start doing the research. So you saw a gap based on your own need. You actually got involved in some venture capital, and through that, you surrounded yourself around the right people, built a business plan, and talk a little bit about, you started off as a diary, but what type of funding did you need? Because a lot of women want to start something, but they don't have the funds.
Well, I was already self-employed and had been since 2000 with Odyssey Creative Communications, which is marketing, social media training, presentations,
Hmm.
strategizing how to get your message out to the audience you need to reach. So in some ways, this is a spin-off of that. But work that I do, which has sort of taken, frankly, a back seat to the effort for the notmom.com, but work that I do for Odyssey tends to fuel a lot and fund a lot of the efforts that I'm doing on the Not Mom. At this point now, just ending its first year, I've been really lucky and fascinated at some of the help that has come my way, professional help, either at a discounted price or for free from other women who don't have children and really encourage the whole endeavor. The best encouragement that I could have gotten perhaps was by landing a second place $5,000 prize in that Bad Girl Ventures program, where the judges said to me, frankly, we're not sure how you're going to monetize this, but we do agree that you have found a new niche in the market of women that everybody's looking for. And so, forced to choose parameters of that market for my business plan, I chose women 34 to 64. And my thinking was that that was a 30-year span that marks from when a child-free woman is ready to declare publicly she doesn't want children. It's also an age where if you do want children, you're beginning to fret just a little bit.
Hmm.
And age 64 takes us to when menopause makes sure the decision has been made. So if you don't have them by now, you're probably not going to get them. Over the year, I have found that there are many niches within this niche. I have met stepmothers who love their stepchildren, but still grieve that they never had a child of their own.
Uh-huh.
I have met women in other countries who are going against cultural traditions and differences that we don't, we have enough sexism in America, and yet it's different when you go abroad. So it's been fascinating to see where tools that I might have needed more funding for have come to me so far, knock on wood, from people who just have a genuine bond with the whole idea of what the website stands for.
That is so incredible. And, being a mother of two, and somebody who was not on the track to be a mother, I met a man that really was very important to him. And I have to say, as I get older and I meet more women at all the events that I do come across several women that don't have children, either by choice or by chance, which I love. And I think that it's so nice to have a common community of women that can get together and share information and learn from one another and also feel a safe haven. So, how do women find you?
Uh, they find me by the primary keyword of childless. The number one thing that my experience is echoed around the world, well, across the internet, is that childless women are looking for other childless women. And the level of how strong that is really, I've come to believe, can depend on where you live. If you live in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is a heavily Mormon, heavily mom region, you're going to be a whole lot more challenged to find another woman without children, who can hang with you, who can whatever that you can connect with, than you are, say, in Chicago. So I think that's one way people are finding me. They're also finding us through an accidental growth strategy where once a month the site features an interview with a woman who is a blogger, an established blogger or author, already has a following, may or may not write about her childless experience, and yet has strong opinions and concepts she wants to share about that. And we do brief interviews, which automatically links us to her readers. And that's another way that women have found us. But for the most part, it's through our Facebook page. And recently, to celebrate our 1 year anniversary, I issued a survey trying to learn more about women without children in America. And I just realized I had to open it up because at least 15 to 20% of our readers are from other countries. And so it seemed that as I approach brands, many of whom are established abroad, I should know about my readers who don't necessarily live in America. So all of that has directed more women toward the site, to the point where now that we're 13 months old, I'm attracting about, on average, 4,000 women each month to the site, and that feels good.
That feels great, I'm sure. That is incredible. And, just a year underneath your belt, and you can tell you're so energized by the activities, the conversations, and what you've created. And I think, there's a couple lessons here is that, look at your own life and see, what information you're gathering, what information you need. And it sounds like you started it off the side of your desk in combination with your business. So it wasn't like you just dropped ship and moved on to start this solely. So you did this off the side of your desk, which I've done too, and it's a great on ramp to get going. And now you're a year into it with 4,000 users a month on average, and that's just incredible. You don't realize what a powerful market that is, and a group of women that most of them, I'm sure, are very successful because they spend a lot of time on things that sometimes moms don't have time to spend on because they're raising the next generation. So I think that's really exciting. But what I'd love to know is, what is the next steps? What's in the horizon for you?
Well, I am just starting to analyze and sort through almost 500 responses to that survey. And once I get that data in hand, I'll feel more empowered and emboldened to really aggressively approach some brands. Right now, the site has a couple of advertisers, several affiliate advertisers, which means if someone were to click on that ad and make a purchase, I would get a very small percentage of the sale. But I would like to see certainly more direct advertisers and sponsors, for instance, of future surveys, or of my dream, which is to someday have a 1 day event where women can network and hear from topical experts in finance, in psychology, and in various silos that women are looking for information as to how it relates to their life without children. I have a very small but talented advisory board of women who are experts either in marketing or web development, online sales and marketing. They're guiding me to look at products through perhaps a cafe press store, nothing huge. But right now we have stickers, for example, that I give away and I send through the US mail to anyone who signs up for our mailing list. Those seem to be very popular, so perhaps that artwork could become a product. I have so much, and I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs can share with this. I have so many ideas and really strong suggestions that come to me from various sources. I'm just one person with limited funding. So I think truly the next step will be to take that data and figure out the smartest way to apply it that will fuel the next level of success for the site.
Karen, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And for everyone listening in, it's all about purposeful women and all of us together really driving the next generation for women. And the notmom.com is an awesome resource for so many women that are looking to connect with other not moms. And I could not be more thrilled that you're one of our first guests on A Purposeful Woman with a Mission. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And if people want to get in contact with you because they like what you're saying or are interested in getting connected, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, I'll give you three. They can connect with the Not Mom on Facebook. They can connect with the Not Mom at the Not Mom on Twitter, or they can email me directly, Karen, Karen, as you see below, at thenotmom.com.
This is excellent. And Karen, thank you so much for your time, sharing your business, sharing a personal mission, and really giving women that are not moms a place to go, feel comfortable, and bond to really get the energy they need to catapult forward in their own lives. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, JJ. I really enjoyed it.